Hey, welcome back. We have a knife here. Let's get into it. All right, I am just back in town, so I don't know how long this has been sitting here, frankly. Just traveling for work and saw this arrived, but there's no big rush on this because this is not a knife that is readily available these days, but instead is part of my very small at this point, but very carefully put together brown knives collection. I shouldn't say small, it's definitely not small, but it's selective. It's selective. Part of my selective brown knife collection, and part of what I've been selecting is trying to find a lot of the earliest variants from every model that he made. And I've been really struggling on a couple of them, particularly the old ones. This was the one that was evading me the most. And it's the hardest to figure out because it's the least documented. So a lot of Craig's knives are very well documented, but the older ones are harder to find information on because they're not in his archive on his website. So let's take a look, and there you go. Brown knife Servo, Damasteel Thor, lock bar material, serial number 19. Wow, that's really cool. I forgot that these are sensitive to lock bar pressure. That's funny. I should have brought my other servo out to compare. Forgot to do that. There aren't like specifically generations of servos. Like he didn't call there's not like a Servo V2 like he had on the Cortex and stuff. But there are some differences. And one of the things I noticed the most is this kind of like sway back blade. Perfect lockup. Wow. That is quite a knife there. Very interesting design. Some wild inlays on this one. So I had number 168, still have number 168, and had been wanting to find one of the earlier variants. A lot of his early stuff was just very custom and intricate. You can see the use of the, I don't know if it's Damascus here or Zircotai, I think Damascus on the inlays and stuff. And they're just hard to come by. So saw this one, actually missed it, but a contact of mine that just bought another very nice brown from me got it. And then when he found another grail, he knew I was interested in this, and he offered it to me. So thank you very much. You know who you are. But it's a cool model with a lot of detail in there. You can see the reduction inside of the scale here, where, you know, despite when this was made, he was doing some pretty progressive stuff. So yeah, cool, pretty wild here on the design. And yeah, if you put pressure on here and you try and push that thing out of there, he's pretty good at that now. Back then on those servos, it was very hard to deploy. So I'm trying to see if I can maybe see with the sway back, it doesn't leave a lot of room here. But if you go way down here, maybe you could reverse flick that out of there. Oh, a little roll with the thumb. How about that? That's cool. You can kind of roll that out. Can't do it up here, but if you want to do a big flexible thumb movement there, way down here, you can roll it out. Let's take a look at the blade. Pretty wild. Thor Damasteel there. So although this isn't like squarely in the design of what I look for today, it's definitely a cool knife for many reasons, for why it was neat when it was made. Yeah, glad to have it in the collection. Glad to kind of feel like this really caps off my brown knives collection. It was the biggest missing piece. It's not a first 10. That's kind of like my de facto. And with brown knives, I have a lot of like number ones, prototype number one variants. So although this isn't as much of a fit perfectly within the collection, it's a much closer fit to what I look for than what I had. Number 168 is a really cool variant, and I think it represented what the servos are about, but it didn't really represent what my collection is about, if that's fair. So it was serving its purpose, but I did feel like there was an opportunity for an upgrade of my servo for my brown knives collection. And now I have parabolic number 12, servo number 19, what else is it? Exponent number 6. Just curious if there's something in here. Nothing to be found. Exponent number 6, and then you have pretty much prototype number 1 or number 1 for the LHC, the Cortex, the FSD, the Mini FSD, the Mini FSDI, and the Cortex XL are all number 1 or prototype number 1. So really happy with how the collection has come together and how this sort of caps it off. And I think that is about all for now. So appreciate you taking a look at the video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.